Hi, this is Jason here at RoofSnap.
Hi, and I'm Katrina.
Oh, sorry for the delay in getting started here. About 15 minutes ago, we went to start our live webinar, and we had a technical difficulty, and we could not join the other session that we had ready to go. And we do this 3 times a week. We've never had an error. So thanks so much for those of you who have already switched over and joined this link instead of the other one. We did just send out a mass email to everybody who's joining, so hopefully here over the next few minutes, everybody will trickle in onto this link for this YouTube live stream.
Absolutely. Thanks for your patience, guys. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. While we're doing the live webinar, as some of you may see, depending on what kind of device you're using to join, we do have a live chat session going, and we have Abby managing that back in the other room. But we will be taking questions over the course of the live webinar. If you have any questions, type them into the live chat. And then right at the end, we'll go through and answer as many of them as we can.
Thank you, Shelby.
Thanks, Shelby. Absolutely, yes. Shelby is chatting with us, and anybody else who wants to chat with us in there, we can see them here on our screen as well. We're going to go ahead and transition over into the first topic that we want to talk about today. And since those of you who have joined us successfully, and hopefully a few more will make it over here into the stream soon, we want to talk about YouTube. Up until today, YouTube has been an excellent source for us to do these live webinars. We've been using it for a few months now and have created hundreds, not 200, but over 100 tutorial videos. So we want to direct you, if you're a late night person or an early riser and you need an answer to a question and you know that there's nobody who's going to answer the phone at RoofSnap because we're closed, right? Well, open up YouTube, type in RoofSnap into the search bar, and you'll get our RoofSnap channel, which is right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And within our channel, we have playlists. So I recommend that you click on the playlists, and you'll see Android FAQ and standard FAQ. The standard FAQ is mostly relating to iOS, so your iPads and your iPhones. But when you click on that, you're going to have a playlist with about 60 videos, 59 videos, and they're all pretty short. They're all like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yep.
And they all answer very specific one-off questions. And you can also just search for RoofSnap, space, FAQ, space, and then something having to do with the question you have. And there's a good chance that a short video will pop up that you can watch and get an answer for whatever your question is.
Yeah, especially with account stuff too in this
Yeah,
playlist.
for account management and setup and material pricing. There's several things that we're going to look at briefly today. And if you have in-depth questions, these videos are going to be the videos that will help answer in slow motion.
Yes.
And this is brand new for 2017, which is why we wanted to talk about it today. Right when Katrina and I got back from the IRE, we started diving into these live webinars and have created so much content that we just want to urge you, our customers, and some of you may not be our customers, but we want to urge you to check these out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I'm going to go ahead and switch screens and just hop right on over here to our website. I'm going to talk about pricing just very briefly. I know many of you who've joined us today are already customers, and so I won't talk about this for very long. But some of you are single user, $99 a month subscribers. And some of you have multiple users, but you're still paying the $99 per user per month. Definitely take a look at some of the savings that you could potentially see over our annual plans. So let's say you only work about 6 months out of the year. But if you have more than 2 users, there we go. I'm over here now. If you have more than 2 users, the annual plans are still cheaper than paying for RoofSnap per month half of the year. So check out these team plans, do the math yourself, and if you think it's going to be a good fit, give Katrina a call, and we can get you set up with some discounts on one of the annual plans.
Absolutely.
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, RoofSnap is now available on iOS, Apple devices, and on Android.
Yay.
And since this webinar is all about like surprise sneak previews,
Yes.
one of the things that we want to tell you is we have begun building dun, 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 an online version of RoofSnap.
Yes.
So here in, 4 to 6 months.
Right.
I have no idea exactly
Please don't
how
quote
long.
us.
No idea exactly how long it's going to take. But here, before you know it, we will have a full functioning online version. This means you'll be able to use RoofSnap on your laptop, right on the website. So this is exciting news. We'll keep working hard on it and try to get it done and out the door as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Every day.
Some of you have asked us, many of you have asked us, hey, I'm not all of my people are great at drawing roofs, or I'm too busy to draw all of my roofs. Can you help out? And the answer is yes. Starting at the very end of 2016, we launched a new service called Sketchos. Sketch ordering service. So it's somewhat similar to some of those other measurement providing services. But the big difference between them and us is we don't just send you a PDF. We put the whole project and upload the whole drawn roof into your account so that if you need to add pins, label lines, modify the pitch value, make any changes to the drawing at all, it's in your RoofSnap account. We have a half snap, which is just for squares and the predominant pitch, and the full snap, which is every line labeled and all the pitches labeled and everything. You will notice that our pricing is substantially cheaper than those other guys who sell measurement reports. So if you need help drawing all of those roofs, well, you do have to be a subscriber. And when you're a subscriber and you're logged in on the website, you'll see that there is a Sketchos tab in the upper right-hand corner. And ordering a project online couldn't be easier, I think. Any project that you've ordered in the past will show up in this little dash bar, and this Request New Order button is going to open up a little window. It's going to give you a quick reminder of the pricing. And you'll just give the project a name and then type in the address. So let's see, 4249 Easton Way. That's our address here. Did I get it right this time?
You did.
Yay. Let's add Columbus. There we go, and the address populates. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the address. Now, let me zoom in here on the map, because one thing I want to show you, and this is brand new, is if it puts this pin on the wrong building or not right on top of the roof, we urge you to grab this pin. You can click it, move it around, and set it right on top of the structure that you would like to have drawn through our Sketchos service. So I'll go ahead and scroll down, and you'll see in step 3 we can verify the address. Step 4 we can pick which user within our company receives the project. And then of course we can select the type, a half snap or a full snap. Step 5, any notes that you feel are important, especially if you want us to include a detached building like a garage or something like that.
Sure.
Add those in the notes and then click on order. And it will remind you if you've placed an order for this address before. That's the address we always order here.
We do that a lot.
Okay, well that is one more thing to take a quick look at here for those admins and owners who have just been using RoofSnap to measure. We want to show you that here on the website, this is where you can go in and you can manage all of your material pricing. So if you're looking at making the next step, jumping in and using RoofSnap for estimates and contracts and material order sheets and all that, you will need to manage all of your pricing. And all that can be done here. We offer lots of training and lots of YouTube videos on how to set all of this up. But of course, feel free to call us 877-766-3762 during business hours. That's 877 RoofSnap.
It is.
And we will give you some tips on how to set up your account. You can manage all of your labor and material pricing for your shingles, your materials, and service-related items like tear-off and steep and second story and all that stuff right here on roofsnap.com.
Yep.
Great. All right, Katrina, go and transition us over, and we'll get set up to take a look at the iOS platform. Most of our customers still and will continue for a very long time to use RoofSnap on iOS, iPads, and iPhones. And so we want to show you a few of the new things that we have for iOS.
Absolutely.
All right, Katrina, I'm all set. Go ahead and transition us on over.
Wonderful. Here we go.
Now, in order to show you some of the new things, we will have to briefly touch on some of the things that have been around for a while. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to start a new project, but I want to do that by tapping on the project map, because I don't think a lot of our users use the project map as much as the green box here for starting a new project.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
So when you tap on project map, the very cool thing about this is it's going to zoom in to your GPS location, and you can see that's the building where we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to move the map down just to this little neighborhood, right? All right, and let's say, for example, that we were in the driveway of this house right here. Well, you can start a project right from this view just by pressing and holding on the house, and it's going to grab the address for you automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool. You tap on create, and there it loads in the address into the project automatically. So let's go ahead and give this a name. If I could type today, that would be awesome.
I wondered what that was. Ah.
And you can put in the billing info and insurance details. Of course, many of you already know this, so let's not be redundant. Let's jump ahead.
We should actually pick the correct office, though, since we
Always
started in the project map screen there.
We want to choose our demo office because that's the one where we have some templates set up and some pricing set up.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, within this, you're going to see some of the names have changed. And if you haven't updated to RoofSnap, the most recent versions that we've released over the last few weeks, you might still see RoofSnap here where it says Sketch. Mm-hmm. So be on the lookout for that. Some of the terminology, just that one, and estimate items. That used to say specifications.
Yes.
But now it says estimate items. They still do exactly the same things. Mm-hmm. So we tap on Sketch, and it's going to open up the initial view, which is Google. And, you know, this isn't a terrible Google image.
Sure.
There's no trees in the way, but the shadows are kind of strong. And I want to urge you to experiment up here with Near Map. If you see this little Near Map button, it means that Near Map, which is a high-resolution aerial imagery company, it means they have imagery for that address. Mm-hmm. So when you tap on it, it's going to show you that it has multiple dates available. You tap OK, it's going to tell you that it's $5. Now, by tapping OK, we're not committing to $5 yet. We can still hit cancel down here in the bottom left-hand corner, or purchase on the far right. But this image here and this bit of info, this is really what Near Map offers, right? So the house on the left, it's distorted. Mm-hmm. It's mostly covered by trees, and it's very low resolution.
Yeah.
The same house on the right, just the other side of it, is Near Map. It's an image that was during the spring, no leaves on the trees, very high resolution, but most importantly, straight down. And a straight down image means no distortion, the lines are true, the rake on the one side is going to be the same length as the rake on the other.
Right.
So if you have Near Map, give it a try. It is $5 to purchase a Near Map, and we are going to go ahead and make a purchase here and show you the difference. So we switched over from that Google, and the first one that it loaded was March 5th. Well, I happen to think that the March 22nd, that's the one. You see no leaves on the trees,
no shadows.
Super clear image, straight overhead.
Wonderful.
All right, we are going to commit to this image, but the first thing I'm going to do is make it very, very straight. And the reason I'm making it very, very straight, very level, using these crosshairs, is because we want to show you 90 mode. In 90 mode, some of you have probably already started using it, but it's about a month and a half old. Mm-hmm. And for me and for our sketch service that we have, and for most of our customers, this is very exciting.
Absolutely.
I used to sell roofing. I used to do both residential and commercial sales. I've done a couple storms, but I wasn't like a traveling stormer. Mm-hmm. But I've worked with insurance adjusters a lot in the past. And the one trouble that I had with using any sort of drawing application was that I needed my drawings to be perfectly neat, very, very clean, for that adjuster not to go, hey, I don't know if I trust the accuracy here. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what 90 mode is all about. It's all about neat and clean drawings so that there's no question regarding the accuracy.
Absolutely.
And if you combine Near Map with 90 mode, you're going to get beautiful, pristine measurements and documents, measurement reports to send to the adjuster.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So let's go ahead and turn 90 mode on. It turns yellow in the upper left-hand corner. and go into the draw mode. But I want to draw your attention. Sorry, that was not meant to be a pun. To the settings in the upper left. Open the settings first because you have different tolerance settings for 90 mode. Mm-hmm. And I want to turn it way up. I want to go to 25. Now you may like 15 better. And certainly you will need 5 from time to time when you're drawing fine details like small overhangs or small dormers. You'll need to change the tolerance of it. Mm-hmm. But for a visual execution here, let's go up to 25. Let's draw the first line straight across the back of the roof here. That line is perfectly horizontal, perfectly straight. I have to move all the way up to here before it jumps to a diagonal. As soon as I get close, see how it jumps right down?
Yeah.
And it's straight. Now I'm going to tap the screen and I'm going to come down. Perfectly straight down.
Awesome.
I have to move my finger quite a ways away from straight down before it moves to a diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's going to keep doing that on all of my vertical and horizontal lines, all the way to here. And then as I get close, and by close, I mean close with this point up here. So as I get close to it, pop. It lines up right straight with it.
It's beautiful.
Now I come up, and I have outlined the entire roof, and every corner is 90 degrees. Perfectly square drawing. Now in 90 mode, you can still draw in your hips. You can still draw these diagonal lines. It's just when you get close to vertical and close to horizontal, that's when it's going to make the adjustment to perfectly up and down or perfectly left and right. Now as we begin to draw some lines that are closer together, we need to go back to settings and switch it down to 5. 5 makes that tolerance not quite so sticky, not so jumpy. It doesn't, the magnetic strength isn't as strong for it to snap, but it still will. Let's do from here down through the valley. Let's grab this other hip here. And then let's climb up this one. Come down, get these last 2 hips. And then finally, this short little hip that connects between the upper ridge and that lower ridge. And there we have a perfectly straight, clean drawing that any adjuster would accept as accurate.
Yeah, beautiful. And Jason, just to pause for one moment here.
Sure.
We have been getting a couple of these live chats regarding drone use as well. So yes, the 90 mode is available when you import your drone imagery. Mm-hmm. The accuracy does depend on both your image that you're taking with your drone. So you want to make sure that you are up as high as you can go for the least amount of image distortion.
Yeah, if you're below 400 feet, and I know that every country, some of you may be joining us from Canada, and you may have different you may not have the FAA, and you may have something, I don't know what you have in Canada, but
different regulations.
FAA says 400 feet. Got to get up to 400 feet to flatten out that image. If you're only 100 feet high, that image is going to be distorted. But 90 mode, as long as you're straight overhead, you don't want to be off center, left or right of the center of that roof with your drone when you're taking the picture.
Yeah, so if it looks like this near map image where it's straight overhead, if you've got rakes, they are, symmetrical, there's no angle to them, then your accuracy will be just as spot on as with the near map imagery.
Absolutely. Now, for the sake of some of the other things we want to show you, I've gone ahead and labeled up all these lines and put in pitch values on all these lines. But I do recommend, if you want the slow-mo version of what I just did there, check out our other YouTube videos in the FAQ section.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. We want to save this. And we are going to move over into the section. You know what? Actually, we could talk about the suggested shingle cutting waste factor. That's brand new for 2017.
That is. New features all over the place.
Yeah, we've made a lot of stuff happen this year in the 6-7 months. I guess 8 months now. We're just starting August.
Yeah.
This is calculating waste, and we have tested this with lots of contractors, but certainly not everybody agrees with our algorithm, which is why you can say no. You do not have to use our waste factor, but based on the complexity of this roof, it is calculating an 11.21%. And if you do say yes to that, you can immediately go into measurements and change it. So this is a hipped roof. And I know that a lot of insurance adjusters are going to pay 15%. And the good news is we can just manually change it to 15%.
Great.
But for cash jobs, where you want to keep your numbers really tight, and you trust that RoofSnap's algorithm is correct, that 11.5% for production purposes should be spot on for ordering material.
Great.
And that takes us right into the next thing we wanted to talk about. We want to throw in a template. Templates are not new to this year, and we have lots of videos on building templates and using templates. But the goal for this is just to get a list of line items. So we've dropped in a template, and now we have, picking a color, we have a list of items. Well, something that is new for this year, it's called the Roundup button. And some of you may be using it, but I'd like to discuss briefly why many customers need to use the Roundup button. Now, here's just one example. So let's say that you have a few crews, and you know that those crews are not going to stock in material. Anything that's left over at the end of the job, even if it's a substantial amount, is either going to disappear off the job or it's going to end up in the dumpster. Well, somebody has to pay for that material. And if it doesn't get stocked back in, it's going to make the job less profitable. And if you don't warehouse material, if you don't keep material and move it on to the next job, like starters and hip and ridge and things like that, you're going to want to use the Roundup button, which is this button down here in the bottom right-hand corner. First of all, we're going to turn off capture data from RoofSnap before we use the Roundup button. And that disconnects those quantities from the drawing. What the Roundup button is going to do is it's going to round up the price to the nearest orderable quantity for each material item for each estimate item.
Awesome.
That means that if no material is coming back, the homeowner's already been charged for any material that just gets thrown away.
Sure.
That way, the job doesn't suffer on profitability. Now, it's going to make the cost more expensive, and so you'll have to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of using the Roundup button. But if your jobs are continuously coming in short because materials aren't getting stocked back in, the Roundup button may be the solution for you. Once you have, of course, everything on the estimate items done, you'll come into documents and you'll generate your estimate and your contract and your material order sheet. But none of that's new and not the point of today's webinar, so we won't belabor. We'll move on to the next thing. Documents, tons of videos on our YouTube channel about generating documents, setting up your estimates, customizing your contract, all of that good stuff.
Absolutely.
But we would like to jump onto a new product.
Yeah.
Some of you have said, hey, I've got a couple internal documents, and man, I hate having to type in the customer's information into that document. One of them that we have created just as a sample is going to be in here under custom reports. We now have the ability for a fee, to create custom documents specifically for your company's needs. And depending on what you need, that will dictate the price.
Sure.
But as an example, we have an invoice document. So I actually, Katrina, I want to switch over to the other product, to the other project.
Okay.
And come down here. All right. So when we go to the edit document for this invoice, the customer information, city, state, zip, and the billing information dynamically loads into the document.
Great.
So it doesn't have to be typed in. And then for this is just an example. We have lots of different kinds of documents that we can create. But for an invoice, this one here, let's say roof replacement. And then let's put in 10,000. And then let's put in quantity 1. And let's say we took a deposit. And that deposit was a negative $2,500. And you see it starting to subtotal and do our tax all down here at the bottom.
Nice.
So let's say we have 8.75 on the tax. Whew, that's a lot of decimals. Let's just go with 8. There we go. There. So it is going to calculate tax and negative positive prices and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
We built another custom document for window order forms where we needed lots of different fields for the window kind, size, United Inches, grids, no grids, tempered or regular glass, special glass, and on and on and on. So if you have an idea for a custom document, give us a call, and we can definitely let you know if it's in our realm of a custom document that we can create for you.
Yeah.
And ultimately give you a price. All right. Well, Katrina, I think that we are done with the new stuff on iOS. The only other thing that I'd like to mention right now regarding iOS is a sneak peek into something that we're working on.
Oh, yes. It's all very exciting.
Which could be very, very, very exciting. We're all in-house as far as our developers go. We have 5 full-time developers working hard day and night on RoofSnap, and they think that they have found a way to speed up the syncing.
Yay!
So, if you guys know what we're talking about, sometimes when you're not on a good internet connection and you've just made a big change to your office, or you've added some new users and you're just setting them up on a new device, sometimes it takes a little bit to sync over Wi-Fi or over a 3G internet connection. Well, we are working on that currently, and perhaps in the next week or two, we'll be releasing a version of iOS with blazing fast syncing speeds. It should be noticeably a very noticeable improvement.
Yes.
Of you just waiting around, twiddling your thumbs while RoofSnap decides to finish syncing in.
That's very exciting for me,
Yes.
and I'm sure for our users as
And
well.
you're the only ones we're telling. So thank you so much for joining the live webinar here. All right, Katrina, we've been building like crazy over the last couple months.
Yes.
And most of it has been for the new Android version.
Yes.
So are any of you particularly fond of Android? Because it seems to be a very polarizing topic.
Yes.
People either love their iPhones and iPads, or they love their Android phones and Android tablets.
Let's see if we can get that to pop up here.
No, can't see it?
No.
Well, give us 1 second. I'm going to reshare our Android tablet with our streaming device here. Always a little bit of technical difficulties when you're not a developer.
It's true. When you're not the tech person, we're just disconnecting our device and resharing it here so we can show you some of the new functionality on Android. All right. Yes.
All right. Do we have it?
Yes.
Okay, let me get it over to RoofSnap. Okay, Katrina, go ahead and transition us on over. Oh, did it completely
Wonderful.
resize it?
Yep. Give me one moment. You'll see Android. I promise it exists. All right. Great.
That's good. So this is what RoofSnap on Android looks like. This is the login screen, and I know this is a little different from those of you who are used to iOS. But this is what RoofSnap will look like in the future. Online, on your iPad. This is the new build. This is the new way. It's got new algorithms. It's better at calculating complex roofs, architecturally complicated roofs.
Yep.
And it's cool.
It's very cool.
And it has lots of fun new buttons and new features. And very, very soon it will have the full estimating features that currently lives only on the iOS, on iPads. Now, a few people have asked us in the past, hey, can I try RoofSnap for free? Yes, the answer's always been yes. We have a free 14-day trial. But if you've downloaded RoofSnap and you haven't signed up for the 14-day free trial, and you want to just try it out a little bit, see what it's like, well, we have demo mode here on Android. And when you tap on demo mode, it's going to log you in a demo environment where you can't do a lot. But what it has, after we finish logging in here, is it has a bunch of sample projects. So you can go in and take a look at a commercial building just to see that, yes, RoofSnap can calculate multiple different structures, facets, a mixture of low slope and steep slope. Surprisingly, we have we have many customers who do residential roofing, but we also have now quite a large list of commercial customers that just do metal roofing, flat roofing, membrane roofing, coatings, and all sorts of different high altitude, big projects. So keep that in mind. I'm going to leave this project. Not all of the projects are pre-drawn. We actually have one at the top called Sketch This Roof. And so that'll allow you to go in and actually play around with the drawing tools. You'll see that RoofSnap here on Android looks very, very similar to iOS. We have all the same drawing buttons down here at the bottom. We have 90 mode. So you can still do the same sort of 90 mode drawing on Android. But instead of having those cursors, instead of having that snap tolerance within the settings menu,
right,
we actually just put that right out here. So that little button there, when we tap that and make it a small cursor, that's sensitive snapping mode.
Gotcha.
And when we tap it and we make it that bigger circle, that's broad snapping mode, where it goes more quickly to those points.
Gotcha.
Well, you've seen me draw a roof already on iOS, and I'll tell you here on Android it's very, very similar. But I'm going to go ahead and tap on the Done button here in demo mode. But in demo mode, it doesn't let you save. So if you have tried it in demo mode and you like it and you want to go ahead and maybe give it a 14-day free trial, hit the Yes button. And it is going to take you right to our website, to our sign-up page, in order to get registered for a free 14-day trial. All right, I'm just going to hop right back over here into RoofSnap. But Katrina, I'm going to go ahead and get logged out. And I'm going to sign in to to my actual account.
We've transitioned over, so we're not sharing our super secret passwords and our information. This is where I tell a joke, right?
And sing a song. And, yeah, entertain while we get logged in. Okay, I've got my password in, and so Katrina has transitioned us back over. On Android, wow, there's so many things we could talk about. Everything on Android is new this year. We can filter our projects in ways that we cannot do on iOS, by the status, by office, by user, of course, when we're the admin.
Exactly.
We can, I don't know, I guess we should probably just go ahead and start a new project.
Yeah.
And show some of the cool stuff that the Android version offers.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead.
So same kind of detail screen, things that you do in iOS.
Yep.
Works very similarly here in Android.
And while you'll see the spinner from time to time because information is loading into RoofSnap, you won't see the same kind of syncing that we have on iOS. It's a completely different infrastructure. It pulls in information as you need it and not all the information when you first log in. And so while you'll have the spinner from time to time, you'll never have these long syncs that you currently see on iOS. It's just a completely different way of building from the ground up. The infrastructure is totally different. I've tapped on Sketch, and it's the same kind of thing here as the project map. It's going to bring us in to the location where we are via GPS. And of course, I'm going to move down into a neighborhood, because there's a couple little buttons and a couple little things that we want to show you here on Android that if you've been using Android with us for a while, you haven't seen yet. So let's go ahead and start with Near Map. Near Map, it looks a little different on Android, but it's going to show us all the available dates and the purchase price. We can go ahead and tap on Purchase and make that Near Map commitment. Now, with 90 mode, we've talked about how important it is to get this image straight. Well, not all of the touch sensors on Android devices are quite as clean and smooth as on iOS. So we've added these little buttons on the left and the right side where you can rotate the image like 1/4 of a degree per tap, or you can just press and hold on them and get them to rotate very slowly. And this kind of helps you just tap a couple times and get it right nice and straight. There we go. Katrina, we had a live chat come in. What were they asking?
Yes. So let's see. We've got a couple of questions here. Does the iPad Pro work better than a 5-year-old iPad, or would you know the difference? So really, the answer to the device question, whether it's Android or iPad, I guess, is always the cheaper you go, probably the slower it's going to run.
Yeah, we've got a $60 Android tablet that we bought off of like a Chinese website thing that shipped it over here, and it will run Android RoofSnap. But man, it's not a great experience. And we've got a a $700 Android phone that is brilliant, and it runs RoofSnap fantastically. The iPad Pro, that's definitely the best iPad model that you can buy for running RoofSnap. But I will tell you, Apple came out with just their new iPad, and it's a value iPad. It was $329. It's a 9-inch screen.
9.7 inch.
Yeah, 9.7 inch screen, and we got a couple of them, and they run RoofSnap great.
Yeah.
And they're not terribly expensive. I mean, $329 for a Wi-Fi only iPad is a pretty fair price.
Yeah.
So if you prefer iOS, definitely check out the $329 iPad.
Yep.
Were there any Android questions that came through? I felt like I saw one.
Not as of yet.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, we used the little changing the angle buttons.
Yes.
On the left
the degree
and the right.
buttons.
The degree buttons.
We don't have an official terminology yet.
And I'm not going to tap on it right now, but I want you to notice here in the upper right-hand corner on Android, we do have the ability now to import your drone imagery.
Yes.
And create your measurements on Android specifically from your drone image. So that import feature is very similar to how it works on iOS.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and hit the snap and start drawing.
Lock in our near map image.
Yep, locking in the near map. Just to show you briefly that we do have.
It's always a dichotomy when you
know,
talk about
it's very
iOS
polarized
versus Android.
And we understand that. So we will continue to make iOS better, and we will continue to make Android better.
That's right. We are
And
non-biased.
Yes, we will not play favorites. Some days we will do live demos with GAF shingles. Some days we will use Owens Corning shingles. Some days we will use certain Teed products. We play no favorites, but we respect your opinion on the matter.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So all I want to do in here again is just reiterate that we do have 90 mode. The buttons look a little different, and then of course the tolerance for large cursor versus small cursor and how that's going to affect your drawing. I think we should just draw this up real quick and show them how we can generate a sketch report here on Android.
Great.
So you can, in Android, you can turn 90 mode off and on while you're drawing. That's something that's really cool.
Absolutely.
And Katrina, while I focus on drawing, tell them a story.
Yeah. All right. Wow.
No pressure.
I'm not great with the impromptu stuff. But there was actually a question when we get to the measurement report. Someone had asked previous about the Bing imagery coming up on that reporting, and you'll see here on the Android version that is not something that generates, at least at the moment, on the sketch report. So that'll answer that question here in a moment. And those nice undo and redo buttons, those are really, really easy to access in the drawing mode.
I got to put it on my screen here. It's sliding around on me like crazy. We got a glass conference table in here, and these devices just slide around on the glass conference room table.
We got to get a nice holder for this device. We have them for our iPads, but I guess we are a little partial when it comes to using those stands.
No, I'm not. Oh, with the stands?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very picky about which keyboard stand I'll use for my tablet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like the one that Apple came out with. Their keyboard stand that they make while it was like a little expensive, is so nice. It's very, very nice. And just like with iOS, if we have any intersecting points that didn't quite draw exactly where we wanted them to, like this bottom left-hand corner, I didn't get perfectly straight. My finger must have wiggled a little bit. But see how we can just put our cursor on them and hold them for a second?
Yep.
And just move them right back in.
Kind of hover and move.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this one here, see, I didn't get that one quite where I want it. So I just put my cursor on it, and it'll pick it up. And then I can bring it down. But what's even great, we can go into settings, and we can control how fast it picks it up in Android.
Oh, awesome.
And we can't do that in iOS.
Yeah.
So if you want it to pick it up in 1 second, you can have it, if you want to move it up and have it give you a little more time. So changing your cursor pickup settings is going to be really important if you're repositioning your lines. And then your cursor offset, in iOS, you can only move it left and right.
Yeah.
But in Android, you can move it left and right and up and down. And you put that cursor wherever you want with respect to where you have your finger. So here I changed it to about 2 seconds. So I'm going to have to leave the cursor on there just a little bit longer before it changes to blue. And then I can move it over and straighten it right up. But most of the time with 90 mode, you won't need to use the repositioning function.
Right.
Same as before, same as what you're used to. You can go ahead and grab your sub-labels, put ice and water shield on everything, and drip edge at the rakes. We can do that as well. There are no rakes on this roof. When were you going to tell me?
Sorry. Oops, that's my joke.
And ridge vent on the ridges, and then ice and water shield in the valleys. And let's go ahead and then get all the hips labeled. So for any of you who do end up using RoofSnap on iOS and then someday this version of RoofSnap, the transition will not be difficult. It will add more functionality, and it will feel very familiar. We tried to make, it's like driving a car that has a stick shift. We're trying to make the clutch feel about the same.
Yes.
On all platforms.
Yes.
That way it's not a big undertaking for anybody to use one or the other.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and put pitch on this and tap on the done button and go into documents. Well, same thing, like you can go to measurements first and change the waste percentage, just like in iOS. So we'll make it a 15% waste. Done. And then we'll go into the documents and we'll generate the sketch report by tapping on the button in the upper right hand corner. And very soon, very, very soon, we will have more documents here on Android. You'll have the ability to create estimates and contracts and material order sheets and the whole works. We're getting really close to having that built out. And we do have one function of estimating ready to show you today as a sneak peek on Android.
It's very exciting. All right, let's open that PDF.
The documents on Android are also looking a little cleaner as well. You'll see tighter lines. Oh, I must have not actually put the pitch value in on there.
Oh, I didn't notice. I promised I would have told you.
There we go. Facets. Sorry. 5. Apply to all. Apply to all. There we go.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
You just hit the done instead of the apply.
Yeah, I meant to hit the apply.
That's all right.
So, and that comes up a lot. I'm a veteran RoofSnap user. 2 years even before I came to work here, I was using RoofSnap. And every once in a while, there's a user error.
Sure.
If you ever get stuck, if you ever get frustrated, if something's not working the way you think it should, give us a call. Chances are there's a button or a setting that we can change or that you can tap that will make the thing that you want to have happen. Just as I didn't hit a button there. So now when we scroll down, we'll see that we have pitches. and we have line measurements with our line labels, just really clean,
Yes.
really easy to read in Android, and then all the breakdown of measurements. So the last thing we want to show you today, and then we'll just field any questions that we have in our live chat, is I want to jump back to this project in the sketch scene. Sorry, wrong one. Actually, we should talk about SketchUps within Android as well.
Yeah, you can order it straight from that tab.
Is pins. And for any of you who are doing estimating on RoofSnap, you know that pins are the precursor to doing an estimate. Because if you have hat vents, soil pipe boots, or any other accessory item, you can pin it right onto the roof. On iOS, you can add photos and notes, and all of that functionality will be coming into pins and being released here very shortly. So right now, when we go into pins, just as a sneak peek, I even left myself a note to make sure I put this into the right office. For those of you who are familiar with offices, you know that our demo office is the one where we have estimate items. But the good thing is it does not take very long on Android to move from one office to the other.
Absolutely.
So we have off-ridge vents. Let's go ahead and grab a standard box vent, and we can pin that vent right onto the roof.
Wonderful.
Same thing, we can go back and we can go to plumbing boots, and we can grab a 1 inch to 3 inch, and we can pin that right to the roof.
Wonderful.
And here before too long, anything that you pin on this roof will show up right into the estimate, right into the specifications within RoofSnap. So pins, you won't see pins on Android here for another week or two, but that is coming soon. Katrina, go ahead and just transition us right on over to full screen here.
All right.
We like to be interactive. We're not against PowerPoint, but we'd rather you see us and interact with you in a very live and interactive kind of way.
Yes.
So Katrina, what do we have? What do people want to know besides?
Steve is on it. He's answering all the questions.
Oh, is he?
Thank you, Steve.
Awesome. Well, what are some of the questions that Steve has answered?
Let's see. So, use sketch not providing the correct photos. Can you delete them? I'm not for sure what that's referring to, Jason. Do you?
I see. Let's see. Is there? I don't know. The chat goes pretty far up. Will you consider removing the elevation images from the sketch report? Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to talk about that briefly. The report can be modified to remove certain pages. I used to use RoofSnap within a sales environment, and for my commercial customers, there were these properties managed by property managers. And the property managers, they wanted these images, my inspection images, but I didn't always want to give them my measurements. And in this case, let's say I didn't want to give them the elevations page. So what I would do is I would open up the document, the PDF document, in PDF Expert. And we do recommend PDF Expert. It's like a $15 app on the App Store. And within your iPad, you can open up that PDF in PDF Expert and then remove certain pages and then email it after the fact. So if you've got a 5-page PDF and you want to delete 2 of those pages and then just send the remaining 3 pages, then PDF can also merge. So if you wanted to take a couple pages from your sketch report and then your estimate and then maybe 2 or 3 of your contract pages, you can merge them all together into one PDF.
Nice.
And then email it all as one document attachment. RoofSnap doesn't have any PDF management functionality, and because there's so many apps out there that have PDF managing functionality, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. But PDF Expert is the one I recommend for being able to do stuff like that. Awesome. What about we talked about drones for big jobs. Was just about to ask about tolerance. Okay, so we covered that. We mainly use drones. Thanks for... Okay, there we go. Are you using software with thermal image for flat roofs? Well, we aren't. Oh, Cloud9 probably is. I imagine that would be a great idea to get like a FLIR camera on one of those high-end drones and go up and get thermal images to see the wet spots on flat roofs.
Yeah.
A lot of our customers have talked to us about doing stuff like that.
And yes, this video will be available to view later, correct?
Yeah. Once we're about done here, we're going to go just another 2 or 3 minutes here, and then we will save this video to YouTube. And everyone who signed up for the live webinar today will get one final follow-up email with a link to this video right here. All right, Android equals. Oh, can't say that out loud. And. You see anything else in there that's kind of a direct question?
Let's see. How to delete the oven.
Oh, can the sketch be done for 3D images? So that's a really good question. 3D is, is the unicorn, right? It's what everybody's moving towards. And we're fooling around with some ideas on 3D spaces, maybe 3D visualizers. It's definitely on our immediate radar. We haven't started building anything yet, but we understand the science behind a lot of this 3D stuff. So we will be hopefully getting a product out, I don't know, maybe early next year. That'll have some 3D capability. But we'll let you know when it gets a little closer to that time. Yeah. In another one of these, we're going to do these monthly, be our new features, and sneak peek live webinar. So I hope that you guys have liked sitting in on what we've done today. Please feel free to join us next month for the next new features live webinar.
Yes, and any questions that we didn't get a chance to answer, we'll try to touch base with you, or please feel free to email support@roofsnap.com or give us a call at 877-RoofSnap, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks so much for joining, guys, and for those of you who are viewing later, we really appreciate you watching our new features. Hope you're just as excited as we are.
Yeah, absolutely. We love our customers, and we'll do anything we can to help you guys out with any questions you have. So, what's the last one without using? I have one more.
Using the clear picture.
Oh,
sorry.
I don't know if I get the question. We'll read back through. We'll read back through the comments, and we'll reach out to any of you with questions that we didn't get answered. So, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you soon.